to Sweet and Short, a practice that integrates 3 elements. The first being body movement, the second breathing, and the third one guided meditation or relaxation. All this in a 15-minute formula for an easy daily practice. Today we're going to focus on the hips, and let's start with a few rolls around, starting from the base of the spine and the hips up. 3 rolls to one direction, and let's go the opposite direction, being very focused on the movement of the hips and the rotation around the pelvis. And back to center. Let's uncross the legs, bringing your feet flat, a little wider than hip distance apart. And let's rock the hips, drop the knees from side to side with full support of the hands behind. Breathing into the movement of the legs, into the rotation all the way to the femur bone, from outer rotation to inner rotation. And back to center to now transition onto all fours. And on all fours, we're going to bring the hands a little further forward than the traditional all fours. And we're going to gently go back, sit bones to heels or close to. If you're not able to go all the way back down, you can take it up here. And then we're going to rock the hips forward. You can bend the elbows here. It's not how high you're going, but really working from that hip perspective, pressing back and gently forward. Breathing in and breathing out. And I feel that the exhale goes a little deeper when you're coming forward into the hips instead of the traditional inhale into opening your back. So 2 more. If it feels really uncomfortable to breathe out forward and breathe in back, you can reverse the breath. And back to center, realign to all fours, hands underneath the shoulders and knees underneath the hips. And let's take 3 rolls of the hips here, tucking the tailbone under, rolling across and tilting back. And reverse, roll in and across to the other side. Making sure you're breathing deep. That's the most important ingredient. And back to center to now step up your left foot forward into a lunge. And we're going to rock forward and back. Gentle and easy. You don't have to go too deep forward, neither you have to stretch too far back. It is really targeting those hips that can get really stiff if you spend a lot of time either sitting for hours or standing for hours. In both ways, whether you're working in a shop and standing for hours or sitting at a desk at the computer, in both situations, the hips are having struggles not being moved around. So let's go for 1 more on this side. Stay, stretch a little deeper. And let's shift. Bring that left foot and left knee down and step up your right foot forward. And again, crank it up. Just gently moving in and out of the pose, or in one side of the pose to the other side of the pose. And more importantly, into one flexion of the hip to another kind of flexion of the hip. This also makes us aware of the relationship between the hips and the hamstrings, as well as the relationship of the psoas and the low back. Couple more. And back to center. Stay here into the stretch, into the lunge. Make sure you're breathing, that you're not holding your breath back. and push back, and releasing that right knee down. And last move here that does not only apply to the hips, but also to the spine. Let's go into cow and arch the back and round up. This is one that you can bring every day to the table and to your practice, and that you get so many benefits from. Inhale, you arch. Exhale, you round. Squeezing the breath out as you round up, and expanding the breath out as you arch the back. Last one. Come back to neutral, and let's go on our backs, which is where we're gonna do our breathing exercise today. That is gonna be a moving breath, where we're connecting that breath to the pelvis and to the hips. So bringing yourself down with your knees bent, and your feet are either hip distance apart or a little wider. My personal preference is feet a little wider. It gives more room for my hips, actually. And then relax your arms to the side of the body, settle your head. And we're gonna start with a gentle rocking of the pelvis, just to warm up here, not thinking too much about the breath, but finding the connection of the floor as we're rocking pelvis and sacral area forward and back. And then we're going to synchronize the breath. We're going to inhale, gently arch, press and roll forward. And exhale, press down, squeeze the belly in and down, flatten the low back, pressing into your feet. Inhale, rock forward. And exhale, squeeze right behind the navel, pressing into your feet. Breathing in and breathing out. Now let's add another ingredient to the breath here. We're going to breathe in through the nose as we rock the hips forward, and breathing gently, slowly out through the mouth as you rock your hips back and you press your low back down. I suggest here, as you keep on breathing and moving and rocking your pelvis forward and back, that you close your eyes. So you bring your attention deeper in, connecting more closely to the movement of the breath, rolling and waving into the body from the hips and pelvis through the spine, all the way to feeling that movement also around your head. There's a gentle rocking of the head forward and back. Not that you're creating consciously that movement, but that's just the extension of the spine that is being moved by the rocking of the hips. If you're familiar with bandhas, internal locks, you can add that last ingredient to this moving breath, which is squeezing the pelvis, squeezing mula bandha. When you exhale and curl those hips towards you, pressing the low back down, exhaling through the mouth and squeezing the pelvis. Release the squeeze and the bandha as you roll forward, and exhale, progressively squeezing in and up. You can slow down the pace of your breath also, and include, if you're really familiar and comfortable with breath retention, a little bit of that. Inhaling, rocking forward, full breath in, hold the breath. Exhaling, rolling back, and hold the breath out. And again, this is not the beginner's version of this breathing exercise. You get to implement one element, one ingredient at a time, and you just upgrade to the next ingredient once you're completely comfortable with the formula you're working with. So you start with the rocking of the pelvis and a soft breath in and out through the nose. Then you're going to inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth through the same movement of the pelvis. Then you add the pelvic lock, the mula bandha, squeezing on the exhale and relaxing on the inhale. And finally, you add, if that's available, breath retention at the peak of the inhale and at the bottom of the exhale. Last tip here, use your feet pressing down and pulling into the floor to create the rocking motion so it becomes smoother, easier, and more fluid. Last, rocking forward, inhaling, exhaling through the mouth. Coming back to neutral spine, fold both knees up, hug your knees and give a little squeeze, pressing knees towards the chest and releasing them, bouncing from the chest and away. And that gives you also a little massage to the low back, just in case it tensed up through the rocking of the pelvis and the moving breath that we just did. And release. Now let's extend forward and down to the last phase of this practice, the last ingredient, savasana. Laying down on your back and relaxing from the back of the heels, through the back of the legs, from the back of the hands as you turn your palms up, through the back of the arms, back of the shoulders, heavy back of the head. And with your eyes closed and your body relaxed, just following my instructions. Not that you're doing, but following the awareness from point to point as I'll guide you through the body in different areas. And the only thing that is required is shifting your inner eye, your awareness and attention to those different points throughout the body. So starting by feeling your toes from the right foot to the left foot. Feel the sole of your feet, right and left. Feel your ankles. Feel and relax your knees. Feel and relax your hips, your low back and your low belly, your mid spine and your sternum. Feel your chest and the back of the shoulder blades. Feel the shoulders, the crease of the elbows, the wrists, the palm of the hands. Feel your fingers. Feel your neck. Feel the back of your head. Feel your face. From the right foot, feel the right side of the body through the leg up, through the right side of the torso, right hand, right arm, right side of the face, right side of the brain. From the left foot, feel the left side of the body, from the foot up the leg, from the hip through the left side of the torso to the shoulder, from the hand through the left arm to the left side of the face, the left side of the head, and left side of the brain. Feel the tip of the nose, your right eye, your left eye, your lips, your right cheek, your left cheek, your right ear, your left ear, the base of the throat, the center of the chest, right side of the chest, left side of the chest. Feel your belly button, your pubic bone, the top of the right hip, the top of the left hip, your right armpit, your left armpit. Feel the whole front of your body, the back side of your body. Feel the contact of your body with the floor. Feel the sensation through the front of your body and the air around. Notice and feel which parts of your body are warm and which parts of your body are cooler. Which parts feel heavy and which parts feel light. And now feel your whole body at once. Your whole body at once. Feel your whole body at once. Starting gently moving your head from side to side. Start moving your toes and your fingers, your hands and feet. And when you're ready, transitioning back, placing your feet on the floor, knees bent, and rolling onto your side. To press yourself up. And this completes your practice today.